So welcome this morning. Pleased to announce that we now have Dial-A-Ride as a transportation option in Sherborne, which we're very excited about. And it will be available to anybody 65 and over, and or if you have a disability. And so the service started on January 2nd, and we hope that it will be, utilized by people. And it's run by the MWRTA, the Metro West Rapid Transit Authority. Regional Transit Authority. And we've worked with John Featherstone, who's here with us today. He's the community outreach person, and he's going to tell you how Dial-A-Ride will work. The COA will help you with the application, and if you need help getting set up, we're here to help you. And I have applications and more information, and then there's also goodie bags. So I'm going to turn it over to John, and he'll tell you everything you need to know about Dial-A-Ride.
Thank you very much. Well, good morning. Happy Friday the 13th, as my friend here just, so lots of good luck today for this. But speaking of good luck, you guys are very, very lucky. It's not often that the Board of Selectmen steps up like they did here in your town. So sometimes being a select person can be a thankless job, but I think you guys all kind of owe a gratitude and thanks first to the Council on Aging and all of her efforts for fighting for this, and then the Board of Selectmen actually stepping up and saying, no, this is an important thing for the community of Sherborne. So thank you to Sue, and thank you to the Board of Selectmen, absolutely, 100%. So, like I said, I'm John Featherstone. I'm with the MWRTA. Are you guys all familiar with what the MWRTA is? Because we're a lot of different things, and sometimes people don't understand. You probably see our buses all throughout the Metro West area, which you probably see most of our fixed route bus systems that we have. We also have what we call demand response. We'll have Dial-A-Ride, which we'll talk a little bit more about today with Dial-A-Ride and how it'll impact the community of Sherborne. And then we're also going into a new phase called microtransit called Catch Connect. We don't offer that service in this area too, but you might see some of our vans running around with Catch Connect logos in the Metro West Regional Transit Authority. So we're a government agency. We get a third of our funding from the federal government, a third of our funding from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and then the other third of our funding comes from local municipalities that we service. And we service 16 different communities that encompass Metro West. We go anywhere from Hudson all the way down to like Wellesley and all of the communities that are in between. Sherborne does not have a fixed route system because it's a density issue, and you don't have a lot of, your population wouldn't really behoove a fixed route system. But what you now have is Dial-A-Ride. And Dial-A-Ride can be a great asset for people, like Sue said, if you're on the disabled spectrum, if you're disabled, if you maybe have some cognitive issues, and then of course if you are a senior citizen. And what Dial-A-Ride is, it is a curb-to-curb service, not door-to-door service. Like, we're not going to come knock on your door and say, hey, we're here, let's go, You do have to book it in advance, 48 hours in advance, you have to book the ride. So let's role play that a little bit. It's Friday morning today, so let's just say that, hey, you wanted to come to Town Hall on Friday. You have to call us by Wednesday at 4 o'clock and say, listen, I want to be at Town Hall at 10 o'clock on Friday. They're going to say, okay, you want to be there at 10, what time do you anticipate being done? Well, it's probably going to be done at 11 o'clock, okay? So you'll call 48 hours in advance to book that. They'll confirm it all with you on the phone, like that. And you'll hang up with that. Last night, or Thursday, usually between 6 and 7, sometimes it can be a little bit later, you'll get another robocall, so answer the phone. Because a lot of people, I know that number, I don't answer it. It's always going to be the same number always, so you'll get used to and you'll know it's a safe number and stuff. It'll confirm, we are picking you up at 9:40 to take you to Sherborne Town Hall, and your return trip is booked for 11:10 to take you back home. So you be ready to call. 5 minutes before that bus comes to your house or driveway, you're going to get another call going, the bus is on the way. The bus, So get your stuff and get outside, stuff like that. Come drop you off. Then today, right around 11 o'clock, you're going to get another phone call going, yep, the bus is on its way to come and pick you up. The nice thing about the MWRTA, different than a private company, all of our bus drivers are thoroughly trained. They're all licensed. We're ADA compliant on all of our vehicles, especially dial-a-ride. So we know what we're doing. We can secure a wheelchair. We can secure a scooter. We understand walkers. We understand canes. We're into that. All of our drivers are certified in CPR and first aid as well. All of our buses have GPS tracking on them, so if a loved one is concerned or something's running late, you can always call the MWRTA and we'll know where you are at all times. So it gives you a bit of a sense of safety and reliability as well too. Now, where can you go? Where do you want to go? The nice thing about this service is now you can go to Boston and Worcester for medical trips only. We can't go see the Red Sox, We can't go see the Bruins, we can't go see the Celtics. But if you have an important medical appointment in Boston, now you don't have to combat the fight by yourself. You can have the sense of security that we're going to take you there. We go there every single day. We take it, but it's for medical trips only. Some people try to sneak in, well, yeah, can I go to the museums? No. For medical trips only, but it's Boston and Worcester as well, too. So we just don't, we're not just only Metro West for that. You can go into Boston and Worcester. But any of the communities that we service, so hypothetically, like I mentioned Hudson earlier today, if you have a friend that lives in Hudson, you can call up and say, next Tuesday I want to go have lunch with my friend who lives in Hudson. We'll take you up to Hudson. We'll take you out to Marlboro. We'll take you to Newton. We'll take you to the Native Mall. We'll take you to Framingham. Come to my hometown, Ashland. Come have lunch in Ashland. So you now have mobility throughout the Metro West area that you didn't have before. And so there was a question before we got started here today. Am I going to be the only person on the bus? Sometimes, most of the times, you might be the only person on the bus. But we can't guarantee you that you're going to be that only person on the bus at all times because it is a share ride system. Like if we're hypothetically, we're going to the Native Mall, we might pick somebody up in Sherburne, and then we might pick somebody up on the way to Framingham Native. So you're not always going to be individually on the bus. If you are disabled and you require assistance, that person can ride with you as well too. Just when you book the ride, you have to let people know that, yep, I'm going to Sherburne Town Hall on Friday morning, but my aide, my spouse, my caretaker is coming with me, and you have to give their name. Another question that always comes up, how much does it cost? Right now, I don't like to use the word free, so I use the word complimentary. Right now, it's complimentary. It's being funded by the American Recovery Act and the CARES Act from the federal government right now. Soon, and I would anticipate within the next 90 days, but don't hold me to that we will return to a fair system, which then you will have to, pay for. It'll be $2 each way. So still very, very reasonable, still very, especially, you don't have to pay for parking and tolls and gas to go into Boston. It's still very, very good value. So $4 round trip. But we don't have to worry about that until further notice. So for right now, it's all free. All the applications are going to go through Sue in Sue's office. So if anybody watching today or participating here today says, hey, this sounds great, this is awesome, go through Sue. The one thing that I always get, and I get it every time I do one of these presentations, I still drive. I don't need this.
Yeah.
Well, it's winter time. Don't you break your ankle tomorrow. Then you call me and go, hey, can you take me to Boston? Nope, because you're not in our system. The key is to get into the system. Hopefully, if you're still driving, you never need us. But all the time, it happens all the time, and it breaks my heart, because I have to say, nope, can't help you. Because remember when I told you to fill out the paperwork 2 years ago and you didn't fill it out? There was a reason why I told you to fill out the paperwork. If you're in our system and you break your ankle and you have to go to physical therapy next week, you're golden because you're in the system. But if you're not in the system, fill out the paperwork, send it back to me, get your doctor to fill it out. Oh, your doctor's on vacation, going to be gone a week. All of a sudden, it's 2 or 3 more weeks that we can't give you a ride. So if you're watching this presentation and still don't think you need it today, but you might need it tomorrow, or more important, do you have a loved one who, because of COVID, because of economic turn down, unfortunately maybe a death in the family, that isn't getting out as much as they used to get out? One of the nice things is that you can just ride this service every single day, Monday through Friday. Get out in the sunshine, get out and go to lunch, if you just want to go to the mall and walk around the mall, you can do that as well though, too. There's no restrictions other than geographic restrictions that you can do it. It's a good thing. It's good. It's not only is it good for getting out for exercise, but it's also a good thing for mental health. I'm a father of an adult son who has autism, who uses Dial-A-Ride. I live in Ashland. He uses Dial-A-Ride in Ashland. It's changed his life. Because as he aged out of services, and then mom and dad work, we can't go home and take him, during the middle of the day someplace. So now he goes to school. He has a almost a full-time job, part-time, full-time job, and stuff like that. It's opened up opportunities for him. And unfortunately, we all know somebody nowadays that either autism, Down syndrome, cognitive issues and stuff. So it does open up a whole wealth of opportunities for people in the community too. It's not just for disabled or senior citizens. It also provides transportation for other people. Anything I missed? I know there's got to be some questions. Yes, ma'am.
Talk about the weather, the winter weather.
The winter
When I
weather.
make a reservation to go someplace Tuesday, and I wake up and it's snowing, I don't want to go. How can I cancel it on Tuesday?
You can cancel that. We ask you for as much lead time as possible. If your ride's at 10 o'clock and you wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and say, yeah, I don't feel comfortable going out today, we'd ask you to call at 7 o'clock. We work 300, we don't work Sundays, but we work, our RTA does not work on Sundays except for specific cases. So I was going to say we work 365 days a year, but that would be misrepresented. But we do work Monday through Saturday. Our call center is open 365 days a year. So we're always there. The only time that we're not there is if the new governor, Governor Healy, says, I'm shutting the state down. We don't operate. Unless the governor says, everybody off the roads, we run a transportation authority in New England. Snow happens, so we are there. But if you're not comfortable in doing it, we don't expect to do it. We just ask the common courtesy, as much notice. Please don't have the bus show up at the house and then you walk out and go, yeah, I'm not coming. Give us a call and we understand. I think we had a question back there, and then we'll come to you. Yes, sir.
How can this work for a doctor's appointment to and from when you don't know how long you'll be at the doctor's? I don't know if anybody else experiences this.
We get this question all the time.
You might sit in the waiting room for an hour or 3.
Yes. We get this question a lot, and unfortunately there's not a simple answer. One thing that we ask is that if you're going to start using this service and you have an opportunity like that, you call the doctor and say, hey, listen, I'm not driving. I'm coming on a Dial-A-Ride system through the MWRTA. I need an anticipated time to do it. So they might say, well, put an extra hour on the back end, and unfortunately, you might have to wait that extra hour or so. But if we take you, we're going to pick you up. But most importantly, the doctor is backed up, you can't do stuff, and you know it. It's, once again, the common, give us a call and say, hey, listen, I'm supposed to be seen by the doctor at 11. It's 11:15 right now. There's no second. Can we back it up a little bit? Stuff like that. If we take you there, we'll bring you home.
Okay,
You don't
so
have to
can
worry.
make, if necessary, you can make last minute adjustments to pick up time.
We hope that doesn't happen, but we understand that life happens, yes. That we understand that life happens. And yes,
Would you describe the procedure for getting into the system?
into the system. This young lady right over here is going to handle all the applications. So if I piqued your curiosity today about that, You can just talk to Sue, and then she'll get you an application. She'll send it over to us. There's a lady by the name of Lisa Long who works in her. She processes all the apps. It can take 2 to 3 weeks to get those, cross all the Ts and dot all the Is. And then once you're approved, we'll let Sue know, but then also that we will let you know as well too that you're approved. And from that day on, you can start booking the rides.
Thank you.
And tell them, you want to tell them about the pay, how they pay on with their,
Yes. So as I said, right now, we're not charging fares, but when you do sign up, the call center will talk to you about how to establish an account for paying for the account going forward. I'll come back out eventually after we get the new fare system all figured out, and you guys are all familiar with Charlie cards? We're not going to use the Charlie cards anymore. We're going to have what we call a catch card. It's going to be a Metro West Regional Transit Authority. So you'll have a balance on that. You can use it for other services. Say, you know, like you are in Framingham because we took you to Framingham, and you want to do something else, and you want to drive on one of our buses, you can do that as well. But you will set up an account with us. You have to have a minimum of $2 on your account at all times. But if you want to put more on your account, with that at all times. And yes, it's kind of like a speed. That's a very good analogy. Thank you. That's a very good analogy. It's like a speed pass. Like the Easy Pass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Like,
that's
you know, for
awesome.
your tolls and stuff like that. So you can just tap the card and then you'll go. But right now, like I said, we're not charging fares at all for right now. So. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
I have 2 questions. One is, we're somewhat archaic and use our home phone. Can we register 2 phone numbers so that you call our home phone? But obviously when we're out, we're going to be using our cell phone.
So you can have 2 phone numbers on account, yes.
The other question was,
But
oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that once we get you started, work with me, I'll make sure that you have my contact information. I just, for my sake, my sound of mind, want to make sure that you're getting communication from both those numbers.
Okay.
And if you're not, we can fix it.
The other question is, you come to the bottom of our street, or,
We'll come to your, for lack of a better term, your driveway.
okay,
We won't come knock on your door, we won't come,
will you come into our driveway, because we have a long downhill driveway? I mean, it's not,
right,
it's
yes, we will come. Yes.
500 feet.
Yes. Yes.
But it's
Yeah.
steep.
And we will come, and we will assist you if you need assistance as well, too. Yep, yep, we will definitely do that, yep, yep. Yes, ma'am.
I didn't think this was for me, and then all of a sudden I realized I have a colonoscopy coming up in a few months. And if I asked a dear friend to take me in, you know, it's a long haul. You don't want someone to sit there, even your
Right.
loved one,
Right.
which I don't have anymore, but this would be perfect for that.
It would be perfect for that, yep, yep. If you book it early, yep. If you book it for early in the day, it would be good, because even if you're on the late end, we can still pick you up, yep. And that's the perfect reason why people should be signed up for this. Hopefully you're not having lots of colonoscopies, but every couple of years when you do, this is a very, very
or even
good way
like eye
to
exams when they
dilate your eyes and stuff like that. Yep. Now, does anybody here know anybody kind of like I described, like a loved one or a friend or a family member that could probably benefit from stuff like this?
What about ourselves?
Well, that too. Most importantly, yourselves. But you know, the best thing for this system is kind of a word of mouth. It's kind of, you know, because like if you know somebody, or you know, a lot of times you'll know like, hey, you know what, we haven't seen so-and-so for a while. It might be nice to reach out and say, hey, do you know about the MWRTA's Dial-A-Ride?
I have a neighbor who's now back from visiting her son, and she's not here because she's afraid of COVID, and she can't really drive, but she has a car. I think I'll try to sell her on this, but I would like to hear you tell us how it differs from JFK. Because people will say, oh, but I've been using JFK for years.
Couple different things. JFK is a private transportation company. We're a transportation authority. We're a government agency. They're for a profit company. We do similar stuff, but typically we're less expensive, and typically we have more rules. than they do. They are your traditional taxi company, transportation company. So they provide a very valuable service. They've been a good partner with us over the years as well. But they're a for-profit company and we're a government agency. So that is the simplest way to answer it. Sometimes they might be quicker than us
Yeah.
because we do, all of the Metro West area, but they don't have GPSs on them. They don't have the training that we have. They're not as good with ADA compliance as we are. Not saying that they're not bad or anything like that, but we have more focused training, and we go to other communities, and we are much less expensive.
This may not be the appropriate time, but the JFK service was established here as a result of the efforts of the COA over many years and secured approval and support from our select board. It is partially subsidized. It is much less expensive than a taxi or anything else. And clearly, this new dial rider, not new, but coming here, is a great opportunity and advantage and has many advantages. But I really wonder if we, either now or later, could have a brief synopsis presented of how JFK works and all, because it is, it has served this community for 20 odd years, and JFK has
It's
been
not going away, it's just another
they're a
transportation option.
for-profit company, but they have
And
been.
it's very good to our residents, and like I said, they're not going away, it's just we wanted to offer another transportation choice in case JFK couldn't
Well,
come.
this is great.
And also, they have the capability of working with people, we've had troubles with people that had wheelchairs during COVID because JFK couldn't transport them. So, they have, like you said, the ADA compliance, which is a big feature. So they will both be offered and people can then choose, which they would prefer.
So it's great. It's always good to have options in the community. Yes, ma'am.
Let's say we wanted to go to Market Basket. You see, every time we go to Market Basket, we see one of your vans which says Market Basket, PO 126. Would we go to Market Basket, or would we be taken to Framingham to get on
No.
126 Market Basket?
No, you would not go to our central hub if that's what you're asking. No. You will be picked up at your home or a place that you ask to be picked up at. Go right to the Market Basket and be dropped off. And then they will come back and pick you up at Market Basket. There's no, and as I mentioned earlier, there's no guarantee that we're right back to Sherborne. Because if we picking up somebody at Market Basket and the schedule is the same, we might be dropping somebody off in Ashland and then coming back. But no, you're not going to go to our central hub, have to change buses or anything like that. You're going right to Market Basket. We might pick up somebody on the way, and I want to be perfectly clear about that. But no, you're not going to our central hub, which is in Framingham, getting on another bus and then going there. Nope. We try to go to the path of least resistance, go right there. Does that make sense?
And the other thing is, Sherborne has paid money into the MBTA. Part of that fund, $26,000 or $28,000 used to go to MBTA, and there were no benefit for people at Sherborne. Now that money is routed to the MWRTA, and that's covering the cost of the dial ride. So at least you get something from, being in the transportation system of the Commonwealth, and which is another benefit as a taxpayer and resident of Sherborne.
And Sue brings up a very good point. Because the MBTA has rules, and anywhere where there's rail, each community pays what they call an assessment. And not to get too complicated, it comes back on your cherry sheets, and that's why we went to, it comes back on your cherry sheet. So if you don't use that money for this type of program, the money just goes right back to the MBTA. And how many people in this room are using the MBTA from Sherborne? Probably very few, if any, right? So this is a good way, you know, I think your selectmen saw the value in it. It's like, hey, we can provide this service, an important service, and it essentially doesn't cost the town any money, so it's a good thing.
We've been sending $20,000 of tax money every year to finance the MWRTA.
That you don't use.
I don't think people were aware of that. I
Right.
wonder if they can hear that in the.
We've talked about it in a couple public meetings, so everybody, you know. Anybody else have any questions?
How come we put up with that? Sounds good.
How about a round of applause for Sue and her team? Thank you. No, thanks for, and if there's always going to be more questions, before I leave today, I'll make sure everybody has my card. Don't hesitate to call me, email me. I'll get right back
Very
to you.
responsive.
I'll get right back to you guys, and then we'll make it all work for you.
I love the fact that the disabled can use it and opens up a whole world for them. Because once they opt out of the school system, we don't do anything for them. It's awesome.
I can confirm that as a parent.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for everybody for watching.
There's coffee here, there's goodie bags, and I also, if you'd like, I have applications and a good overview of the service.
Thank you, Sue.
Thanks. I think I have one, but I'll take it.
John,